Are we live?
Are we live?
Gosh, I hope so. I've been
Oh,
sitting
goodness
here waiting
gracious.
for this all morning.
Oh, Phil is here.
Phil,
Phil's in the hizzy. What's up,
hey, Phil. Finally, we've got a viewer. We are excited as all get out here.
Phil? Whoop,
Oh
whoop.
my God. How is it, Phil Hill? Are you snowed in? I hope not.
Oh, is it snowing where you are, Phil?
It always snows where Phil's at. He's up in the Iceland.
Iceland.
Yeah, not like the continent Iceland, but he's in Iceland where it's lots of ice.
He said he's been up all night. Oh,
Yes,
Phil.
working. He's a working man.
Oh, working. Well, thank you for being here, Phil. We appreciate it. We love when we have somebody to talk to. It's coming in a few hours, he said. Oh, the
Oh,
snow.
yeah, you know what? We're going to be getting down cold here this weekend. Today is Thursday, tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Freaking cold, like below 32 cold. And you know
Oh,
what's really sad, Gina? You've known me long enough to know anything below 75 degrees, I think I'm freezing. Now, anything below 32, then I'm like, oh, it's kind of freaking cold.
yeah.
So I'm adjusting. I
Yeah.
couldn't live where y'all do though. And I don't plan to live here because I don't like this.
I know you
Ow.
like the warmth. I like the
You,
seasons. I do happen to like the seasons. I think it's nice to have everything, but I don't like it very hot like where you live in Vegas. I could never do that. I can't live in Florida. No way. And no, I just can't do it. Too humid. Too humid. Couldn't
see,
do
I,
it.
I don't have the humidity out in Vegas, but
No,
still. And when
but
people
it's
go,
hot. It's hot. I know people say, "Oh, it's a dry heat." No, it's hot.
yeah, whenever you walk outside and it's like taking a giant hair dryer and blowing it in your face, or like
That's
I
what it
had,
feels like. That's a great analogy. That's
I tell
exactly how it
people,
feels.
go turn your oven to about 110 degrees and then
Yeah.
crawl in it for a few weeks. See how
Like,
it is. That dry heat's just great. It's fine. You won't notice it.
mm-mm, mm-mm.
And yet I'm looking at Texas.
Texas is just like that, right? A
No,
little more
Texas,
humid.
yeah, a lot more humid where
Texas
I'm
is a
looking.
hot state.
So the
I don't want to
humidity,
get into it, but you know how I feel about certain parts of Texas. I'm not going to get into it.
I
I'm just
think
going to
it's
keep quiet. Well, for another day, because I can't go.
for
I can't go over today. I can't go over the stream.
okay.
I can't go
Yes,
over the
you have
hour.
things to do. And
Yes.
actually, now that we're kind of caught up on life, because Gina, I told you about mine and yours doesn't matter. So you haven't done anything exciting this week. I know this already. You've got 30 seconds. Anything fun in your life this week?
Nothing fun. Same old, same old.
Okay,
But
fine. Let's move on then.
I had a sick kid all week. That was fun. My son was sick all week. He just went back to school yesterday. Um,
Gina told me she was celebrating. I mean, she was like having a party. Went to school. He went
I'm
to
like,
school.
I'm finally by myself since last Wednesday. My husband went to work yesterday, and my son went back to school after being out since last Thursday. That was a long time. That was a
Oh
really
yeah,
long time. But he had a fever on and off that whole entire time. It was stressful.
he
But
was sickly.
yeah, he was all mushy. But I happen to like when he's all mushy though. I like when he's all cuddly. It's cute. But then he's got to go now. He was getting on my nerves. I'll be on the phone with Cheryl, right? All of a sudden, my son will be like literally in our conversation completely, right, Cheryl? Like he wants to know exactly what we're talking about at all times. Yeah. Cheryl's like, oh, I think Mikey feels better. Yep, he does.
Yeah, you can tell. For a couple of days there, I didn't hear a peep out of him unless it
No,
was,
because he was sleeping.
yeah, or little things where he needed something. But then when he's in there and he's in the conversation and wanting to know why Gina said this or why I said that, or he's giving his 2 cents, and we're like, "Oh, time for you to go back to school, young man."
I'm like, Cheryl, he's going back tomorrow. I think he's better. He's a
Oh,
cutie
good.
pie though. But Cheryl, let's talk about whatnot.
Why? Oh, we
Because
titled the
it's
show that, so we might want to.
yeah. I mean, we could talk about whatever until 12 p.m. because then I
And then
gotta
you're
go.
out of here.
Then I'm outie. Like today, Gina got out jet at 12.
Gina has an important appointment.
Today is parent teacher conferences, so I got a jet at 12. However,
Just so
wait,
you know,
just
Gina,
yes.
when I had my youngest, when I had to do parent teacher conferences with her, her teacher is such a nasty person. I
What?
despised meeting with her. I was like, oh my God, this woman's an idiot. And I'm just wondering how many other people that homeschool have that same feeling when they do a parent teacher conference.
I mean, I will say this year, I absolutely love Mikey's teachers this year. They have been wonderful. Like they're just enhancing his whole school experience. Last year was a little tough for him because he was adjusting from COVID year, but this year, I will say top notch. Top notch. But enough about that. Let's jump in.
All right.
So, do you want me to
What
put
not?
this question in too? I'll put it in the
I,
chat as well.
I just, yeah, I just popped up the first
Okay.
question, but first off, let's say what is Whatnot? Whatnot app is it goes by Whatnot app, and honestly, it's easier to search if you put the little app word in it. Otherwise, Google's like they're confused. So Whatnot, Whatnot is a live auction selling site. So when I say that, you may have different ideas about what a live auction online is because like me, I do a lot of auctions back in Vegas where they're online. You go in, say you have X amount of days to put in a bid if you want to, and then on that specific day, say Saturday at 10 a.m. is one I do every week, then you can watch the timer and it's going to count down. People go bidding crazy. This is not that. This is kind of like Amazon Live to an extent. Is there's going to be a person live right there. They are going to hold up an item, tell you about it, tell you if there's any flaws. Well, they're supposed to tell you if there's anything wrong, what size the shoe is, but yeah, whatever it is. And then they're going to set a timer. Now, they may set the timer for 15 seconds. Let me tell you what, 15
Sudden
seconds
death.
ain't long to bid. You
That's
got to
called
get,
sudden death. That's when they do that.
and they might set, I've seen a few people do 2 minutes. It kind of depends on the item, but
I've never seen 2 minutes ever. That's
oh,
interesting.
really? Now
That's
I
a
know.
really long time for a bid.
Well, I think what the ones I've seen that are have been 2 minutes are when they have a lot of the some of the vintage stuff and they've got a ton of people in and it's building.
Yeah.
It's a lot of vintage stuff. And then sometimes what they'll do is say they have this pin and they're going to start the bidding and they've set it at a minute. And they're like, we're going to sell this. Starting bid can be anywhere from $1 up. So they may say this pin, because it's vintage, which it is, I'm going to start the bidding at $5. And what they may do is as it gets going to get people re-energized, say look the last 15 seconds, bidding's kind of slowed. They might just go ahead and say, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to throw this in. Yes, this Batman pin, you got 10 seconds. Who's
Yeah.
going to get these? And they fire that bidding back up because I've just thrown in something that is really cool. Usually something that goes with it.
Yeah, they're trying to give you more incentive to, up the bidding wars. Um, I've seen that as well. I've also seen people like start at $1 and you think starting at $1 is not like a good thing to do. However, if there's a popular item, let's say your Batman pin was like so vintage, whatever. I don't know how much it would cost. But say it was a high priced item and all those people in there knew it was a high priced item, you start the bid at $1. You're like, oh, maybe I shouldn't start it at $1. But sometimes those go so high, it's unreal the bidding wars that go on. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
I've been in rooms that happens.
And it depends on your audience size and who's in your audience and everything. So I get why a lot of new people, they try starting at $1. Well, they don't
It,
have the audience to get the bids in. So
I wouldn't
therefore
do that.
they're selling items for $1. So it
That's
kind of,
tough when you're starting for sure. I
yeah,
wouldn't start at $1, but to just piggyback off that, you can start your bidding at a set price. You could start at $10. Like if you know your bottom line of what you want to get, you can start it at that number, like
yeah,
$10, $20, like whatever dollar amount you want. I mean,
right.
that's a nice thing too. But like Cheryl's saying, when you're first starting out, you don't have enough volume for a bidding war to happen. So you
Yeah,
may want to start at set pricing bidding at your like your bottom line, and
right.
then go
And
from there.
also
Like when you get more
maybe
popular.
don't go and grab your most expensive items. I'm not going to grab my little cow
No.
and start it because I don't have the audience to get a bid up.
Yeah.
So
So
that's another thing. I may start with lesser items. Say, I could do a show with, say, I don't know, 100 rubber duckies. Could do it.
I would watch.
All right. So that's kind of what the WhatsApp is. It's all different types of things, but we're going to get to that. Now, how do you sign up to be a whatnot buyer or seller? Now, I put links in the description of the video. I also just put them in the chat. These are invites to sign up to be a seller or a buyer. So pick the appropriate one, please, if you're watching. You can, I don't know if you can just go and sign up or not. I had to do it through a specific link. That
No,
helps.
I'll go in on that one just so that you know. So Cheryl told me about Whatnot a couple months ago, and we'll talk about that another day. How addicted I got to it because I literally got so addicted. But when you go in, you can sign up as a buyer, but it also gives you options once you're in there. If you want to become a seller, those
Okay.
options are in there, Cheryl. You don't have to have the link, but the link is also for what do they call it? Not commission, but referral. It's referral
Yeah.
based as well.
Those
So,
links that I put in, they will have a referral
yes.
and I could make a couple dollars. I don't think
But
it's
I
anything
want
big.
to just mention one more thing. When you have a referral link from somebody else that is a seller on there, and I only know this because I know a lot of people
That
on
helps.
Whatnot, it does help you to get approved because
Yes.
they're almost like what am I thinking of? Oh my god,
It's
my
almost
mind is
like
they're
getting a
they're
reference.
re- they're giving you the referral and it's based on that. Like they're
Right.
like, all right, well, Cheryl is giving Gina the referral, so she must be a verified person, kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
And
does make it better.
yeah, of course. And if you use my referral, I really want you to be a decent person. Don't be some scumbag using this because I will find out. I will hunt you down and I don't know, I'll smack your hands with a ruler. I'm not
Don't
sure what
mess
I'm
with
going to do.
Cheryl.
See, I've been watching that movie 1923 on Paramount Plus. It's the precursor. to Yellowstone, and they had some nuns slapping people with,
Uh-oh.
yeah, so that's why I got the I'm gonna slap your hands with a ruler.
Yeah. Just
That's
real
what
quick, I used to have a teacher in high school that did that. She would come out if you weren't paying attention or something. She had like this ruler that somebody decorated for her because she always used to use a ruler, and she would slam it on your desk if you weren't paying attention. She wouldn't do it to you, but just wanted to mention that. Yeah, it was crazy.
yeah,
And that wasn't Catholic
she
school.
wouldn't do it to me but once.
I got it once because I was staring out a window, just saying.
You got it once. I find that hard to believe. Alrighty now. I can see
Phil
Gina
said
being
Phil said, I'm cool. I want a referral. All right, click that link. So the link for Cheryl's referral is in the chat right now, guys. It's on your page, or it's on your
it
page,
should
right?
be in the description,
Oh, okay.
and
It's
I
in the
put it in the
description.
description, and it should also be in the chat.
I see
So
it. I see
one
it.
is to be a buyer, one is to be a seller. Now, there is a difference, and we're going to get to that in just a minute. So if you're thinking, "Ooh, I might sell," hold up. If you're not sure on that yet, we're going to get there in just a minute. But what type of items can I sell on Whatnot? Here's a big one. Uh, uh no,
Oh, Gina.
no, Gina, I want to refer. I don't.
Oh, you want to refer somebody?
Oh, I'm like, you want, yeah, I was confused on that. Oh, Phil,
Phil, please explain.
yes, we need words and details because neither one of us are really with it today, like last week. But what type of items are you going to buy or sell? It says, what can I sell and whatnot? We're going to talk about both. But if you've ever watched Gina and know much about Gina on Whatnot, you know they sell what, Gina?
Sneakers.
Sneakers. You can buy
Yeah,
sneakers. You can buy tons of sneakers. In fact, just just one day, just stop by Gina's, look in her closet to see what kind of sneakers they sell. They sell them all. So sneakers, we
check
have
it
a
out.
oh look,
These
you
these sneakers are from Whatnot. I bought these on Whatnot. I get Listen, guys, my whole entire sneaker collection and my family's sneaker collection is literally from Whatnot. They have all the popular sneakers if you're looking for sneakers. So all those sneakers that you can't get in the Nike app, trust me, they're on Whatnot. And if you need to know like legit sneaker guys and gals, I'm your girl. I'm your girl. I know them all.
she does. In fact, she
It's
called
pretty
me
sad.
after I told her about Whatnot, and she went and signed up and everything. And then I don't know, a week or so later, she's like, "Oh my God, Cheryl, I'm gonna kill you. My husband's gonna kill you. We're in so much trouble. I'm addicted." But there's gonna be sneakers. They've got trading cards, vintage stuffed
Pops.
animals, dishes, jewelry, custom jewelry,
You see
you
this?
name it.
Pops.
Oh yeah, those I
That's a
always want
pop.
to call them pop rocks.
No, they're called Funko Pops. So they
Funko
also
Pop.
have Funko Pops for collectors. Insane amount of Funko Pops. So if you're a Funko Pop collector, trust me when I tell you, if you're Funko Pop, sneaker, and what's the other popular one? Vintage type items, Whatnot has everything.
Every
I mean, they have everything, but I think those
yeah.
are very popular categories.
My suggestion is you kind of go over and look through the app and see what the different auctions are, see the categories,
Yeah.
see and check them all out to know if you've got something that's going to be right to sell on there. Honestly, our friend Billy, he is also an Amazon influencer, and he is selling a lot of home items, electronics, all this. So there's pretty much everything on there. Here's what I'm going to say. make sure your items are not something you'd sell for a quarter at a garage sale.
No.
Nobody, and you want to be honest with what your items are. Don't be telling somebody, oh, look at this. When in fact, when they get it, they're going to realize that it's all scratched up. It's all marked up with crayon. The clothes are
Or no,
dingy.
you can let me just stop you right there. There are some people that want to buy that stuff, Cheryl, but you
I
have
know.
to be upfront
That's
and
what I
make
mean is,
sure you tell them that it's
yes,
already beat up.
yeah. And so to me, I wouldn't want to sell unless you're selling vintage and you can explain why it looks this way. Also, with brand name items, you're going to want to check those out to make sure they're legit before you get on there and say, this is XYZ brand, and it's really freaking not. So
Yeah.
you can sell everything pretty much. They even have an adult section. I haven't been there, but they do have one. So just so you know. Oh, and we have Dimple in the
Dimple,
house.
what's up,
Up,
Dimple? Hi, girl.
checking in for the day to see what we are up to. Who
Yeah.
knows? We never know.
So, Cheryl, I know Dimple's here. Dimple likes luxury items. Um, Cheryl is stylish. So, that's what she just said about you. Yes, Cheryl's very stylish. I love you, Cheryl. But anyway, that sounded like kind of weird, Cheryl. I was like, Cheryl. I haven't had my full cup of coffee yet. So
You had
anyway,
coffee like an hour and a half ago.
no, I'm still drinking the same one. So anyway, Dimple, this one is for you. So the bidding, you just put the bidding question. I'm just going back to the other question real quick, what you could sell
Okay,
on Whatnot.
keep
Vintage
talking.
bags. Vintage bags. So I follow sneaker guys and I follow luxury handbags. Dimple, trust me when I tell you, you can get these luxury bags for so cheap that it's going to make your head explode. Chanel, Louis Vuitton, Gucci, every brand you could possibly think of is on Whatnot. And if you have, let's say, items that you want to sell, I don't know if you have luxury bags, but that's also another good option. And then to make sure that it's legit, there's something called entropy.com where you can verify that those bags are indeed real. So just wanted to put that out there because I know that Dimple likes luxury bags. Cheryl likes luxury hats. Cheryl, I'm going to get you a Gucci hat.
Yeah, I'll let Stella tear it up.
Mm-hmm.
Stella can wear it. No, so I wouldn't even let my dog wear it. I'm not doing advertising for another cup. I'm not paying to advertise. So anything with a brand name on it, unless it's somebody I like my, Rod Addiction.
They're vintage. They're vintage bags from their used bags.
Nobody cares.
I'm just telling you, that's what people
Nobody
care about.
needs. I have had the same bag for.
You don't care, but there's a lot of people that want a vintage bag. Maybe they can't afford a brand new one, so they buy the vintage, or maybe they have they have a vintage style and they like the bags from like the 80s and the 70s, and then people sell them.
Everything from the 70s and 80s was better than now. So
I agree, and I've bought a bunch of the old school Gucci from that time period that is just so beautiful, and it's in really good condition. Like those are the bags that I like. Just saying.
Are you done now?
How does bidding work
I
on
mean,
Whatnot?
who knows more about being an old bag than Gina?
Dimple Dang said Gina is right this time.
This time.
Check.
Mark the calendar. All right. How does the bidding work on Whatnot? Let me tell you what, when you sign up, you're going to put in a legit credit card, your name, your address. You're going to put all that in just when you sign up. so that they know, A, you're a real person, you have a way to pay, everything else. You're not going to be allowed to bid without having all the information in. The bidding. Now, like I said, I could, there's a couple of different things I can do. I can either just hold them up and say, anybody interested? And if they're interested, then I can type them in and make them a product. Then I can set the bidding. And like we said, 15 seconds. I'm not sure what the highest limit is. The most I've seen it is 2 minutes. Now, since you're already signed in, you've already got your payment information, your address. Here's something I'm going to tell you about your address when you put it in. And it's something I've come across on eBay too. Make sure you put in your correct address. Make sure if you move, you correct that address, because don't contact people and say, hey, can you please mail that to a different address? That's a big no-no. And that's a big sign of a scammer. Whether you're a buyer or a seller, you watch for those things, because if if I'm using a stolen credit card or a stolen account where I've went in and I've gotten into somebody else's account, and I'm going to say, oh, it's a gift, mail it over here. Buyers don't like to do that because then they lose a lot of protections, and you don't want to do that. I face this on eBay sometimes, and you have to make a judgment call. So make sure you've went in and changed your address if need be. Otherwise, what's going to happen is, A, they may just cancel the sale, or they will cancel the sale, have you go in and repurchase and with the correct address. So that's just your heads up. The bidding, going to put these up, going to put them for say 20, 30 seconds. And then you guys start bidding. When the countdown timer goes off, boom, whoever bid the most money is going to get shipped these. Correct, Gina?
And guys,
You're a bidding expert. Tell us any tips for it.
I
Do it
I
like
would
you're
say
in a
make
slot
sure
machine.
if you really want that item, you're gonna have to be quick, especially if they do sudden death. Don't sit on it, because you can get some crazy good deals if you're fast enough. Seriously, like I'm not even joking about this. But again, Cheryl was saying about your payment, make sure your payment methods are correct or you can lose your item, because the sellers on there are not going to mess around. If your payment fails and you don't fix it, that's it. You lost that item. Just
Yeah.
saying.
And it's for good reason. I mean, we don't know who's on the other end of that
That's
keyboard,
right.
and I don't care how many times you say, oh, it's really me. No,
Yeah.
I'm not going to take that chance, because A, I could lose out on the money. Somebody else, if it's a fraud, if you're using someone else's credit card or account or something, it just, no. Y'all know how it is. And just think, if you were on the buyer or the seller end, would you want to trust a bunch of crap? No.
Right.
So,
Elliot is here. What's up,
Elliot,
Elliot?
all
I just
right.
asked him if he had questions about Whatnot. And guys, if anybody has questions about Whatnot, feel free to put them in the chat and we'll answer
We
anything that you have.
we may or may not know the answer. If we
Yeah,
don't know
that's
the
true.
answer, we'll say, you know what's the best thing to do is go over and sign up and figure it out for yourself, because we don't freaking know. So that is the bidding. And yes, what you can also do is follow an account. So if you like a particular seller, then go over and follow them so that you'll know more of when they're going to come up on a live.
Oh, and one
Also,
more thing about that.
if
Oh,
I'm
sorry.
not done yet, would you
Sorry.
just, Gina, zip your New York mouth for a second. If you see that they have a show coming up, maybe they have a show every week the same time, or they've got a show they've scheduled ahead of time, you can go in and click notifications. Here's what I'm going to tell you. The notifications you can't count on. So my suggestion is, put it in your calendar for like half an hour before the show's supposed to start if you see it, because notifications sometimes come like 2 hours after the show starts.
So Phil has a question. Talk about shipping as a seller.
We're going to. Just hold on, Phil. I'm not there yet.
Cheryl thinks she's the boss, but I just allow her to talk because she talks so much that, you can't help it. Anyway, what was I going to say? Oh, so I just want to piggyback off of bookmarking the show.
Do you know where
If
the term piggyback comes from? Go ahead. Go ahead. I was gonna
no,
give you a little
you can
farm animal
you
knowledge, but you go right
you
ahead.
can go ahead. Yeah, you're good. Go ahead.
No, no,
No, I'm fine. Go ahead.
we're not doing farm animals today.
I mean, you can. Is it less than 30 seconds? You think?
No, it's actually in depth and it's
Yeah,
quite
I know
complicated
you're like an encyclopedia of useless
how
knowledge.
how
So,
piglets actually get on the other little piglet's back and go along. They're
oh,
really funny. They're cute. Just thought I'd tell you it's piggybacking. Go ahead.
okay. So anyway, when you bookmark a show, that actually helps the seller to come up higher in like the views on the followed, like the followed section. You ever see that? When you log in, you see followed hosts, you see upcoming shows that are like all the upcoming shows that are happening. What?
Oh, go ahead. I'm
No, she
listening.
already said
No,
that. Like I already
I
said
just
that.
wanted to reiterate it. You go right ahead. I'm
No,
not interrupting.
Cheryl's
I'm
not the
being quiet.
boss. Like, well, let's just say I have to respect my elders. She's
Okay, are you
much
done?
she's much, much older than I. So, you gotta respect the old people.
All right. How do I communicate with buyers or sellers on the Whatnot app? Gina, have you had experience where you've had to
Yes.
contact a buyer? And
So,
what did you
you
do?
mean a seller as a
A
buyer?
seller.
Yeah. So when you have an issue, I did have an issue with one of the sellers, and they have a little like a message. So once you follow that host, you're able to click on their name and then you could press message. And then it goes into like a private message, just like normal messages that you're used to, like on your phone. And then you could communicate completely through the app and it saves everything. So you're protected, they're protected, and if you have any other like problems, you can then put it up to Whatnot directly, like,
Yes.
and they are very, very responsive. They have one of the best customer service
Yeah.
ratings. They have very, very good ratings for their customer service. So fraud, anything like problems with a seller, whatever, they are very, very fast to
And
respond.
for buyers and sellers, and like Gina said, it's all right there on the app. I strongly, 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 strongly suggest all communication be done
Stays.
on the app, whether you're a buyer or you're a seller. Because if something comes up, then you've got it right there. You're not going to be able to tell Whatnot, oh, I texted with him on the phone. Oh,
No,
I emailed with him. Do not freaking do that. Just like on eBay, everything has to stay on eBay. And that is actually a protection for both of you. Like Gina said, it's going to be there so that you don't have to worry about it. They can go in and look and see what was said. Maybe, the seller promised something and it didn't come through after the buyer paid. Well, the buyer is then protected because they can see things. So,
yeah.
yes, you want to be able to do that. We're going to hit Phil's thing here. Let's see who
Hang on,
pays
and
quickly.
wait, just one more thing on that. And sellers will also tell you that directly. They'll tell you that if there's anybody on there that wants to communicate with you off the app, they strongly suggest, like Cheryl said, not to do that. Like that's like a legit seller that's going to say that to you.
Right.
So, yeah.
And that's the thing is, you might think, ooh, I'll get a hold of them on through email, or maybe we can get to texting and I can save a few dollars talking to them or sell a few items more, whatever. Here's the thing, you lose a lot of your protections when you do that.
And there
So
are also people on there that are not sellers, that are just regular buyers that will also contact you in messages asking, like, so if you ask a question, let's say to Cheryl in her chat, because there's a chat in everybody's stream. If you ask like, "Oh, do you have this?" Somebody can actually text you through the app and say that they have it, but they're not a seller. You got to be aware of that as well. I
yeah.
just wanted to point that out because there
See,
was
I
a couple
haven't
of
seen
guys.
that.
Yes, I get it all the
I
time because of sneaker guys. There's sneaker
And
guys.
here's the thing, you start dealing with people that aren't a seller on the app, and you don't know what you're getting from who.
That's right. And you
Go
don't know if they're
through the
legit.
legitimate route.
That's
I
right.
could contact Gina and tell her I've got XYZ, and I'll sell it to her super cheap. Guess what? She's gonna send me that money, and she ain't never gonna see shit.
That's right. So
You
you
know,
gotta be aware of messages that are outside of a seller as
yes.
well. Just saying.
And as a seller, I think it's kind of scummy to start poaching buyers.
A lot of people do that on Whatnot.
I
I'm
know
gonna be
they
honest
do.
with you.
I find it to be very scumbaggy.
No, it is. And the
And
sellers on there also feel the same way as you.
yeah, and the thing is, what could happen is if Gina's coming in to poach my buyers, I can block Gina.
Yes, you
She
can
won't be able to
block.
come into my shows. And let me tell you, if I find out and have proof, say one of my friends is who she's messaging, I just send it to Whatnot and she's done.
Yeah,
She,
you can't ever come back.
yeah.
They're gonna
So,
block you.
you
Yep.
know, there are scummy bag people out there.
Yep.
And you
Just
just have to,
buyer beware is what I
yeah.
can tell you.
And if you have questions, because I know, like Batman stuff, I could go through a whole stream of Batman stuff, and I might have someone, a buyer send me a message and say, "Oh, I've been looking for a Batman shot glass. Do you have one?" And I could say, "Why, yes, I do." And what I can do is then say, "Okay, I'm going to do another Batman show on XYZ day. Be sure to be there and I'll put it up for it in a buy it now," or
Yep.
because you can do buy it nows, but not like eBay. It doesn't stay up all the time you put it in your show, or you
Right.
can do bidding. So I could work and let them know when I will be putting that item up. And I do know a lot of buyers that when they see a lot of the similar things, they're going to be like, "Oh, I'm looking for one, but in this size. Do you have something?" And then you just go ahead and take the sale through your regular routes. You don't take it off.
Right.
Shipping. Who pays shipping? The buyer pays shipping. That's all handled through Whatnot. You can print your labels in Whatnot. It as a seller, because I went in and did that the other day after Billy had kind of talked with me about it, because Billy's been selling on there. I haven't done a live show on it because for one, I have such a uh
Crazy life.
yeah, yeah, that's what I'm looking around thinking. Um I went in and figured out how to do practice shows. I've been accepted as a live seller for a few months.
Yeah.
I have so much stuff that I'm trying to deal with that I haven't done it yet. And I have a lot of vintage stuff that I'm not sure how well it will go over being brand new. I don't want to sell stuff for $1,
No.
but you do pay shipping. That is all handled through Whatnot. And here's the thing, beware that there are buyer or sellers that don't know the first thing about packing. Nothing. I'm in some Whatnot groups. I have seen some horrendous crap shipped. I mean, they're putting dishes and they're wrapping them with a couple of pieces of paper. They're not even tight in the box. The box has been reused so many times, it's off. They get the items and they're all broken. When that happens, you have to go to Whatnot and get that handled.
And they handle it like ASAP. ASAP. I
Yeah.
haven't had a problem because obviously I'm getting sneakers and bags mostly. But I have heard story. I got one mug from one of the sellers. It was a Beauty and the Beast type mug. It was like a collectible type thing. And she had it wrapped like beautifully. So there are people that can wrap and there are people that do not know anything, like Cheryl's saying, but
They don't
be
wanna
sure
spend the
to
money
contact
on the
Whatnot.
supplies. That's all it
Yeah.
is. They don't wanna spend the money on it, and let me tell you, with
Or they
everything
just
I
don't know how to do it.
no, that's ridiculous. Common sense. If you don't have that much common sense, you should probably just stay home and turn off the internet because we can't be trusting you if you don't understand. I mean, everybody's got boxes from the post office that have looked like they have been run over by a freaking train. We know what they do with boxes. One of the things on eBay with my account that I actually, it's one thing I have, is a lot of my feedback is how well I pack. And they're like, that's the safest package I've ever had sent. Because my thought is, as a seller, if Gina wants to buy this stick, yes, this is still a stick. If she
How
wants
did
to
you
buy
know?
this, huh?
I said, how did you know?
I knew it. I knew you were looking at this stick earlier when Stella had it. But if she wants to buy this stick and it's breakable, let me tell you what, even if I think, oh, it's going to be fine. Well, I already know that it could get damaged on one of the ends, what have you. I'm going to wrap that. Now, she may have paid $5 for this stick, and I'm going to wrap it just as if she paid 50. Why? Because that's the only one like this, for one. And when she paid her money and she paid what I asked, she deserves to get what she paid for. And granted, it could be refunded if it's broken all. But I'm gonna do my dangest to make sure she gets this exactly as it was shown, no matter what the post office does. So there are a lot of people like me that go above and beyond to wrap things. I would put this in bubble wrap it around a
Yeah.
couple times, ship it out. But some people, they would, no kidding, this glass with newspaper wrapped around it in a single layer box.
I mean, you're taking the care, you want to get the good reviews. Something else that's very important to the sellers on Whatnot are also reviews. They are always saying if you like, you know, the show, if you like the way we sent you the product, they're always saying send us a review, write us up on something nice. Like it's important to a seller. Very important. So if you really know that that person took care, you should write a review because it helps them.
Yeah. And just like on any other site, having reviews of, like on my eBay, I don't have a ton, but I'm very happy that, I've gotten 100% good. I'm sure that won't always last. Somebody's going to get grumpy about it. But you want to help those that actually do what they say they're going to do. There's also, when we were talking about shipping, uh, I've seen instances of where some of the more unprofessional ones may not ship right away. Now, I get some of these people may not have a post office down the road from them. And so they're not going to ship same day. They may have their show on Saturday, ship Monday. But some of these people are not, they're not planning ahead or something. So it may be a week or two before they ship it. And so go before you start, if you can, go look at the seller reviews to see what they say. I mean, there could be people in there saying, oh my God, it came all broken, or oh my God, it took 3 weeks for them to even ship it. You'll know when it ships. Here's the good thing though, on Whatnot. So say I buy something from Gina and I've paid my money to Whatnot. She's not getting that money until I receive the item.
Right.
So if it's not one of those, they kind of hold it in there until I receive it. So it all has tracking on it, which is good. And you don't have to worry that they just sold 25 items, never sent them out, but they're going on vacation somewhere on your money. Whatnot still has it until it's delivered. So
That's right.
that's kind of an incentive although they pay it out when it's delivered, not necessarily when you have said it's good. So that's where the refunds, where some of this comes in.
And
So
something from the buyer side, when I get the package, inside of the package, there's also like a little slip that says like what show it was, how much I paid for it, what the taxes were. It tells you all the information. I guess it comes from your side. I guess so you're really essentially doing two things, I think. Like you're putting a label on the box, right? And then you have to put another one inside of the box
the packing,
detailing
yeah,
detailing
that's the
exactly
packing
what
slip.
you bought,
Yes.
which I actually like because sometimes you're like, where did I get that? Like you don't remember what show it was, and it tells you the whole detail. Stella,
So,
Megan's here. Hi, Megan.
come on.
We're talking about Whatnot, the Whatnot app. So we have a lot of people here that are from the Amazon influencer program. So something that is good if you are interested in Whatnot is getting rid of, and this goes back to like the first thing. What can you sell on Whatnot? And we know somebody from the Amazon influencer program that just started doing it this past week. He started selling all of his overstock that he has from Amazon sellers that sent him free products. And now he's selling them on Whatnot and making another profit on it. So there are multiple ways that you can utilize your Amazon products to make
And
more like money on them.
and Megan, I have in the chat up at the top, the first question was how do you sign up for it? And I put an invite
Oh, I'll
for
get it. I'll get it for you.
okay, for buyers and sellers. So as here's what I'm going to tell you. We're kind of going to go off a little bit from what we had originally stated, but that's okay.
Mhm.
Did you put that in the chat or the
I'm,
caption?
I'm gonna. Yeah, no,
Oh,
I thought I
so
could just copy and paste it. It wasn't letting me.
what we are going to talk about for just a minute is when you sign up as a seller, not as a buyer is just one thing. As a seller, if you want to sign up as a seller, here's the thing. You're going to sign up. You're going to put in all of your details. Yes, it will ask you a credit card. It will ask you all your address, everything like that. And it will ask you what category. So you're going to have to look through and pick the category you think you have the most inventory for. Now, once you've done that, you're also going to have a place. Now, when I did mine, I sent in 3 pictures. Don't send in a picture of one item and say, oh, I have, because they're going to say, show us your inventory. Don't send in a picture of one item. Send in a picture where you have, maybe you have a closet of clothes. Maybe, like me, I had, I don't know, few thousand DVDs. Check that picture. Check another picture of I don't even remember what. I just here when I did it, I mean I could have taken a picture anywhere and said it's all going, pick it.
Yeah.
But you're gonna want to send in 3 pictures showing your inventory, not an item, but several items, at a time in each picture. And it can take anywhere depending on what category you're choosing to be in, which some categories are faster than others, but I'm not going to tell you what they are simply because you need to pick the category for what you have. I was accepted. I mean, I filled one out late at night, and by the next morning, it was already in. I'd been accepted as a seller. One of the things for our Amazon influencers, where they ask a little bit about you, put that you're an Amazon live streamer.
I
You
would
can
do
put
that.
your link in there. Let them know that you're used to doing live, that you know what you're doing. If I was to redo it now, I would put in there that I sell on eBay so they have something to go with. So those are a couple of hints for you. And that way you can probably get in a little bit easier, maybe.
Yeah.
So be sure to check that out. Gina, we are running right down on time. We've got, what do we
10
have? 10
minutes.
minutes left.
Yep.
We're moving along good today. If you do have any other questions, I mean, we've covered a few of just the basics, and we didn't want to
Yeah.
go in detail. We want to get you in so you can start checking it out, because until you check it out, you're not going to have a clue what we're talking about.
Yeah, and the links are in our description down below, and they are also in the chat currently. So if you're curious about Whatnot, you've never been on it, we have links in the description and in the chat right now. So
And
you're able to click
while
that.
you're clicking links, go over and click that link. It is a referral link. I may make a little bonus. I think one of them's like $10 or $15
Mhm.
for you as a, if you're a referral and you sign up. I may get that. I don't know what the
And I think
criteria
you get
is
even
for it.
more after that if they get approved, I
Yeah,
believe.
yeah. So I will let you know it is a referral link and an affiliate link. Uh, if you're using mine to become a buyer or seller, please don't be a scumbag. Hey, I gotta say it. You
Yes,
know,
no scumbags. Please.
if you
Don't
all have
don't
any
apply
questions,
if you're a scum.
yeah, we don't need scumbags. I don't need scumbags anywhere. But I know none of our people would be
No.
scumbags, so that's
All
not
the
even
people in the
an
chat right
issue.
now are not.
No. And here's a couple things. Whatnot was started in 2020. It's growing. It's a fairly new platform, a new idea on how to sell. I mean, I watch people auction on YouTube and everywhere else, but this is just for that. Uh, you're going to find toys, clothing, shoes, gaming stuff, electronics. You may find rubber duckies, all kinds of stuff. You just kind of got to sort, and you're going to want to pick your favorite categories and then start checking people out. And like I said, you find a seller you like, check their ratings, make sure they're good, hit that follow button so you can follow them.
Yeah,
Uh,
and you could also mention people, like, once you are in there, if you're going live and you know other people are live, or you wanna have somebody jump in because you're like, "Oh, Cheryl's selling rubber duckies, and I know that you want rubber duckies," right? You can at them in the chat, and they can come on over to bid.
yeah. And as a seller, a lot of them do it just off the cuff. They're just going to say, "Hey, anybody interested in this?" And some of them do what they say, room scans, where they go around the room and show, what, and people pick. My thing is, if as a seller, I can go ahead and take a picture of my stick and my tape measure, and I can have those already in my auction listed way ahead of time, days ahead. Then that way, I'm hopefully going to build some pre-bids and some people interested in it coming to my show. Because to me, if you just scan once you get in there, I'm not even at your show because I don't even know that you're having one or what you're having. So
Right.
I'm not going to be there. So my suggestion is you list everything. I know Billy listed a few things, and then he started having so much fun he started pulling out all kinds of
Yeah,
stuff.
he's like, "I just started pulling stuff out all over the place." Yeah, what about this? What about this? I mean, that's the beauty of going live on that platform, though. I mean, really, you could be completely spontaneous. It's great.
Yeah,
And
so
you could have as much fun as you want. I mean, you could have giveaways, you can have all kinds of stuff.
where it is different than Amazon Live. Amazon Live, there's a lot of chit chat. Well, when Gina and I are on, but they do cooking, they do all kinds of stuff on Amazon Live. Whereas Whatnot, it's going to be this stick is for sale. Here's a 20-second timer. Bid.
Right. That's it. It's
Bidding
like
is
no
done.
BS.
Here's
That's
this tape measure. Look at this. It still works. It's green. It has a clip. Ready, set, bid. It's going
right.
to go freaking fast.
It does. I've seen it. It goes so fast. You're like, "What happened?" Like, you could just blink and somebody already got it.
Yeah, you're seeing an item, maybe they have them pre-listed, and you see an item, it's going to be the 12th item they sell, and you pop in and they're on number 4. And you're like, "Oh, I'll come back in a little bit." Let me tell you what, it doesn't take long for those 8 items in between to possibly be sold depending on their bidding timer. And it's gone. You come back and they're on item 20 and you're like, "Well, I wanted 12." Well, should have stuck around.
Yeah, but sometimes it stays in there and it doesn't sell, and it like you could still put a bid on it. Like there is still an option that says pre-bid, like you could pre-bid on stuff. I don't know if you saw that, Cheryl.
Yep.
You can list it as a pre-bid if you want on the seller side or not. But the buy it now is also a good place. You can also see what has sold in a show.
And
Um,
that's good for sellers and buyers both. So
yeah.
go in and look at some of the show, see what has sold,
Mhm.
and kind of
For
get
how
an
much?
idea. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
It will
It's
it
really
will
good.
help you out. Don't, I
Definitely.
wouldn't go look at sneakers because I don't really give it about them and I'm not going to be selling them. But I might go over if somebody has had Hot Wheels cars or something that I'm interested in selling or buying to
It might
see.
be, yeah, it might be good for vintage people like you for sure.
Yeah.
I know we have a lot of people in Clubhouse that are vintage sellers, and that would be the perfect place for them to get an idea of like how much that stuff is selling for based on
And
that.
Megan asked, can you sell CBD products? You know what? I
Mm, I don't know. I never saw it. I don't think you
I
can.
I haven't seen it. I haven't looked for it. I haven't even looked about it. My
We
thing
could
would
look it
be,
up.
yeah, that would be very iffy because of different state laws and shipping and
Yeah.
all of that. And they do have rules. I mean, they have rules about what you can and can't sell. So that
Yeah.
one I am just not at all sure about.
I'm not sure either. That's something I would have to look up and get back to
Yeah.
you on that.
Yep.
But
So,
guys, thank
yep,
you so much for being here, guys. We had so much fun. I actually
how did
think,
it quick?
Cheryl, I think that we need to have another one about this particular app. Maybe not next week, but maybe this month, just to like, if once you go live, I think we should have another one just so that you can talk more about it on the back end of like selling and
Yeah.
shipping and communication with the buyer. Because I mean, I know from a buyer's
Gina is
perspective,
a buyeraholic.
guys, I'm not gonna lie, I am addicted. And it's all Cheryl's fault.
And if you guys have questions, not just about whatnot, but about things that you want us to, you know, talk about, if we know about them, if we don't know about them, we're going to look at you and say, "Yeah, I don't know." Uh, not my bag. Um, Let us know. I mean, you can find us here on YouTube. We're on Amazon Live. Both of us have Instagram. We have Clubhouse. We know a
Guys,
lot of them from
uh,
Clubhouse.
let me stop you for 1 second, Cheryl, because you literally just forgot about something that we just did. We now have a website.
Oh, did you put it in the links?
I just put it in the chat, but we forgot about putting it in the captions. But if you want to do that real quick while I talk about it. So, guys, if you want to stay in the know with Cheryl and Gina, we now have CherylandGina.com. You could go there, subscribe to our website. You'll get little tidbits from us. We're planning a bunch of cool stuff. So you don't want to miss it. You can subscribe there. You could follow us there. We have all of our social platforms listed there. And we also are putting up a calendar on our webpage so that you know where we will be in the World Wide Web. Where are Cheryl and Gina going to be
I
next?
was going to say,
We
no, you
literally have
won't
no
really
idea.
know. you won't really know where we are because I'm going to be here. I'm seeing an end to my mess. Of
Mhm.
course, I have to wait another couple weeks just for my extra surprise that's going home with me. But I am seeing an end to this, and it's kind of like, oh my God. Then I have to get home and readjust everything. And
Yeah.
so where we're at, you really won't know. But I'm going to tell you this: if at all possible, like when I'm traveling back home or whatever, if at all possible, and it's on a Thursday, I'm going to go live with Gina. Now, what that may consist of is me in a car holding a phone.
Or
Gina's
me
taking
in
a
Disney
trip.
World. You never know. I am going to Disney in a few weeks. So it's going to be on a Thursday. So I may be going live with Cheryl at Disney. So you don't want to miss that. I'll be talking to you guys from the roller coaster.
I'll, I'll
Cheryl,
be
Gina,
vomiting.
everybody follow.
Yeah.
But guys, after the show, don't forget to subscribe. Gina and Cheryl, well, sorry, Cheryl
And
and
I cannot
Gina.com.
do Clubhouse today.
Okay, so we're
I
not
just,
having a clubhouse today. I have to go to a parent teacher conference
what we can do, Gina, maybe
maybe
this,
later,
yeah, because
later
I
tonight.
just got a message that I need to be out there by noon.
No problem.
Uh,
So it
so
is noon here. I got a jet, guys, but subscribe to our website, CherylandGina.com, where you'll get all in the know stuff for when we're doing things. And thank you so much for being here. Maybe we'll be live on Clubhouse tonight. If you are on Clubhouse, be sure to follow us on there so that you could come and talk to us even further. We do hold a lot of
we
rooms.
never know
They're
what we're talking about
spontaneous.
on Clubhouse.
We
Whoever
Yeah,
comes in, we can change.
yes. It goes all different. But thank you so much, guys, for being here. We will see you next Thursday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Bye. Have a good one.
Have a
Ciao.
good week.
Bye
And
bye.